Higher Education Minister says online selection is standard. Lae Secondary claims outstanding TFF funding. And APEC delegations to have special visas.
This is the National EMTV News with Mary Batulo.
A very good evening. Thank you for joining us for Thursday's news. Higher Education Minister Pilani Ningi says the online selection done by the department is the required standard for UPNG, while UPNG listings done manually may have some faults. The minister was responding to member for Nawai, Kennedy Wenge, on complaints from students unable to register due to the two listings.
Two selection. One play come long.
The member for Naweb said he has students from his district that flew in on the OHE ticket and had not registered yet.
He got two selection. One play come long. Air ticket sorry come long. Also pigini. All come long office for higher education selection. University got now plus selection and more acceptance letter too. Only come. Acceptance letter now stop long. Uni campus. Higher education is selecting all stop outside.
The Minister for Higher Education said the department's secretary has met with the Vice-Chancellor and head of schools to resolve the issue.
Our students, which were selected by higher education, have a rightful place. And I can assure the member that if one of your students have been selected by the online selection, he's got a place. And I will ensure that that person, that student, have the place. Nobody will select it, deny his right.
The minister went on to say that UPNG lists may be based on nepotism, and some selected were not to UPNG standards.
We're fed up with people selecting one-talk system, never system. This will have to be stopped. And the online, we have assured the students and parents that they must respect, that the institutions must respect the selection process.
Last week, in an interview with the acting Vice-Chancellor Vincent Malaibe, he said that he hoped other universities did manual selections to cross-check the list with the online selection by the OHE. He also added that the selection had a third requirement, and that was that the student applied to UPNG. Adelaide Sirokskari National, EMTV News.
Lae Secondary School is the latest in Morbe Province with claims that it is owed outstanding tuition fee-free payments to the tune of almost 600,000 kina. These are for the years 2015 to 2017. According to Provincial TFF Coordinator Joseph Tonokon, first quarter payments for this year were deposited into school accounts last week. But Lae Secondary School Principal Christopher Raymond says they are still waiting for these TFF funds and all other outstanding funds. Julie Badwi-Owa has more.
Lae Secondary School currently has a total population of over 1,800 students. The school's expected tuition fee-free payment is 1.8 million kina each year. According to records, the school has been in default of tuition fee-free payments from the Education Department since 2015.
15 expected 1.8, we collected 1.2. All right, 2016 on paper I was expecting to collect 1.5. On my record on December report, I got 1.4. That's about 100,000 or so less. All right. In 2017, which was last year, from our 1,800 plus population, we were expected to collect about 1.758, about 1.7 million. On record, as of December last, we got about 1.26. So that's an indication of about 500 to 600 or so shortfall.
The government says the first quarter of TFF payments for 2018 was disbursed last week and the money should be in the school's account by now. But Mr. Raymond said the school is still waiting for the first payment for this year. Lae Secondary School has also confirmed that they have not received their 30% infrastructure funds since 2015.
On record, up to now, we have not gotten any money from the district yet. All right. So that's the other thing that I was saying. Like, it's a bit confusing. We don't know how money is actually being paid and so forth. All right. As far as we are concerned, we're only calculating the number of what is broken up into 40, 30, 30. That still needs to be clarified properly to us.
The government says students' fees should not be imposed on parents, but the secondary school has been operating on the fees paid by the parents.
The response of our parents are very, very good, and I really appreciate my parents for this and the guardians for this. And a call, if you ask me, would be for our parents to continue on supporting the school.
According to records of TFF outstanding payments in Morobe, the government owes 6 primary schools in Lae District nearly 3 million kina since 2013. And Nawai Lutheran High School has not received its outstanding TFF payments of nearly 1.2 million kina. Julie Badui Owa, National MTV News, Lae.
Still in Lae, Buimo Road Primary Treasurer Tassis Barigo wants the government to clarify the breakup of the 60% tuition fee-free funds for infrastructure, teaching and learning. The school is yet to receive over 100,000 kina outstanding TFF payments from the years 2015 to 2017.
This is a class of grade 8 students of Buimo Road Primary School in Lae. The students have to improvise for themselves when it comes to teaching and learning. The school currently lacks facilities such as desks, tables and chairs for the students to use. The school's treasurer, Tassis Barigo, says the government should provide a clear breakup of the 30% each for infrastructure and teaching and learning components.
Government is talking about 100% TFF may come. On the ground, we have a problem. Maybe in Wagani will talk some. He got money at TFF and subsidize him, so something but on the ground we really have a big problem. Look, come up in classrooms, work in nuclear library or teachers' housing.
Our outstandings was suppose national government through the education department and give me plus secular, the people can work him out. That is something that we are not informed. We are kept in darkness of how much we should be receiving for our students.
The school managed to build these 3 blocks of classroom to a cost of nearly 100,000 kina of TFF money from the 40% cash administration paid to the school from 2015 to 2017. Buimo Road Primary School needs to build more classrooms to cater for the increasing number of students each year.
Now, we expect him first quarter of 2018, but like he's well over 100,000 or plus, then this line may not come. So this first quarter, we just receive him for 27,000.
Meanwhile, the government owes 6 primary schools in Lae and the Lae Secondary School over 3.6 million kina. Nawai Lutheran High School in Morobe is still waiting for its outstanding TFF payments of nearly 1.2 million kina. Julie Badui Owa, National MTV News, Lae.
By next year, an additional 45 megawatts of power is expected to be provided to the Port Moresby power grid. This through a partnership between Kumul Petroleum Holdings Limited, KPHL, and Mineral Resource Development Company, MRDC. Both entities today signed an MOU to partner in the construction of a power plant which will use gas from the PNG LNG project to generate electricity for Port Moresby. This is the second such power generation venture for KPHL. KPHL Managing Director Wapu Sonk and MRDC Managing Director Augustine Mano signed the MOU this afternoon. Through the MOU, both entities will partner in a joint venture to provide gas for power for the Port Moresby electricity grid. This venture, the second for KPHL. Late last year, it also entered into a partnership with Oil Search through the joint venture company New Power to also provide gas for electricity into the Moresby grid as well. This latest venture is estimated to be worth over $70 million or close to 200 million kina.
The MOU basically provides the framework in which we will explore the opportunity in building a power plant outside of the LNG plant. It's second one to the one that we are actually doing construction at the moment.
According to Mr. Sonk, this partnership is a demonstration of KPHL's commitment to the country as the national oil and gas company.
not only power opportunity in that area, but we are also looking at gas supply for other industrial development in the area. So not only is a power project, but other opportunities as well that we will be exploring together under this MOU that we will be signing today.
The MRDC is an equal partner in this project, and its managing director, Augustine Mano, says this is also one way of adding value to returns for oil and gas landowners in the long term.
Most times landowners complain about their oil and gas, they don't see any value added back into the country, and this venture, for the first time downstream, they'll be involved in participating directly in building a project.
Whilst this project may not come online prior to APEC this year, both KPHL and MRDC are confident of the long-term benefits, both for power consumers in NCD as well as shareholders of both entities.
All the engineering work is done by solar, and it can be brought in as packages and delivered very quickly. So as far as delivery, it can be very quick. But again, we need to have all the other commercial arrangements in place first.
The venture here is another source of income for the landowners rather than only on the royalties and then the equity, where most of them are influenced by the oil price. We looking forward to create the market for to make power more affordable to Port Moresby, cheaper and cleaner power available to Moresby.
The communication arm of the PNG Defence Force is predicting improvements in sending and receiving military intelligence. Under the Defence Cooperation Programme, the Australian Defence Force yesterday gave over 50 radios and antennas to the PNGDF in preparation for APEC. The gift comes at a time when the PNG military is facing serious challenges in its communication division.
This equipment includes very high-frequency handheld radios and very high-frequency repeater antennas. They are an advanced version of what PNGDF is now using in its military bases outside of Port Moresby. During the handover of the equipment, head of the Australian Defence Force says the gift is another step towards increasing the APEC training and is a capacity development for PNGDF. Chief of Force Preparations, Colonel Siale Diro, says the advanced equipment will assist PNGDF conduct and control all military operations.
In the digital age, this type of equipment is high value. It enables us to command, control, communicate and coordinate all of our operations far more effectively. So given the tasks that we are currently doing and the tasks that lie ahead for this year, APEC in particular, this will enable us to coordinate, communicate with and coordinate our support to the police and the national government for APEC operations here in Port Moresby, our border operations along our land border, as well as our support to police operations in the highlands.
The antennas take up to 5 minutes to set up, and the signals can travel as far as Wutung at the northern PNG-Indonesian border and Daru in the southern region. PNGDF is working closely with the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary in providing security for the 21 world leaders who will be attending the summit in November. Thekla Gunga, National, EMTV News.
The PNG Defence Force's grounded services of the Defence aircraft, the CASA. Chief of Force Preparations, Colonel Siale Diro, said the plane is undergoing routine maintenance. Commanding Officer of the Air Transport Wing, Lieutenant Eddie Miro, also confirmed the grounding. PNGDF is liaising with the Civil Aviation Safety Authority to ensure that the aircraft is up and running soon.
We are currently going through maintenance requirements for it, and we are in liaison with CASA CASA PNG, making best efforts to have our aircraft up and operational again, up and flying again, so that we can support the many operations we're required to do this year. It will take time. Exactly how long, I'm not sure, but I can tell you that we're making best effort to have it up and flying, have it operational again.
A moratorium is now in place for the purchase and issuance of new gun permits to citizens across the country. The moratorium excludes disciplinary forces. Police Minister Jelta Wong, in his ministerial statement in Parliament today, said the Gun Control Committee report in 2005 has been considered, and the decision was based on the death of police officers during elections and the recent increase in gun-related violence. His statement was debated in Parliament, with many MPs saying the ban should look at ammunition purchase also as border protection and social issues that lead to the use of guns, and to consider the business security. In compliance with the government directives, the Police Commissioner, who is the Registrar of Firearms, will not approve new applications for the purchase and issuing of gun licenses. Here with National EMTV News, our story on special APEC visits for visiting delegations and more after these messages. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. The Immigration and Citizenship Service Authority will be issuing special visas to visiting APEC delegations. Chief Migration Officer Solomon Kanta says the department has already made arrangements to streamline this process.
The 21 world leaders and their APEC delegations will be given special visas before coming for the Leaders Summit. The Chief Immigration Officer explains that the department will be issuing what is called special designed events visas to the visiting APEC delegation. These special visas can be filled online.
The delegation, they don't need to go to our overseas missions to apply for a visa. What happens is that they will send their details for accreditation to the APEC authority, and the APEC authority will send these details to us. So they don't have to submit their information multiple times, but just once. And then we will issue a special exemption designated events visa, where they will receive that visa electronically, and an auto-grant notice will be sent to their email. They can just show this to the airlines, get on the plane, and come for the meetings.
Come November, the arrival of these leaders and their delegation will be an historical event in itself. It will be the first time for leaders of some of the world's largest economies to come to PNG. Meanwhile, Ian Jinga, Director for APEC Security and Partners Engagement, says members of Joint Task Force Security have already delivered in terms of ensuring the safe movement of world leaders during a number of international meetings already held in the country.
In fact, they have already started delivering. Like you know, several meetings have already happened, the Transport Ministers meeting, informal senior officials meetings, the security structures and architects for designs for those meetings have been delivered, and we are quite happy with how we delivered those meetings.
Security operations are planned and executed with support from the Australian, New Zealand and United States governments. And we have 8 more months before the arrival of these world leaders. Thekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
Bird watchers in Port Moresby will be in for a treat later this year, with the country's national emblem, the bird of paradise, to have its own aviary. This aviary will be the newest addition to the Port Moresby Nature Park. Construction for this feature was launched this morning. For many families in the capital, Port Moresby Nature Park provides an ideal escape from the hustle and bustle of city life. With its collection of flora and fauna, the Nature Park has in recent years worked to improve its offerings to the public. And with the world's focus on PNG in this APEC year, Nature Park has used this opportunity to promote one of the country's national emblems, the bird of paradise. There we go. Today, a few corporate supporters were on hand for the official launching of construction of the park's newest facility, the Bird of Paradise Aviary. The structure to be built at a cost of 700,000 kina. According to Nature Park General Manager Michelle McGeorge, The Path to Paradise is an exciting venture as it showcases the country's national emblem, which is held in high regard across the world.
So we're hoping at this stage for 8 bird of paradise species. Now we actually already have them here at the nature park, but we actually have them all out the back. So we've had a number of animals here in the collection that the public don't get to see. So this is all part of our goal to get the animals out the back on display so everyone can enjoy them.
This project is being funded through support from the park's many corporate sponsors, one of which is British American Tobacco. BAT External Affairs Manager David Toe was present at the launch today.
To build an aviary to preserve the bird of paradise species for the future, for our kids, for the future generations. I think it's a great piece of work that Michelle and the team are doing, and we at BAT, like I said, are more than pleased to come on board and support the initiative. So thank you very much, Michelle and the team.
But that is not all, with the nature park to soon reveal its new reptile enclosure, which according to McGeorge will be a hit with children.
Well, I'd like to tell you that the reptile house is actually going to be opening first. So I'm pretty sure that we're looking for probably a May launch for the reptile house. So that's actually well and truly underway. And then we'll have Bird of Paradise will follow that. And then from there we're looking at redesigning our main picnic area. And we'll be turning that into Main Village. So if that gives you a bit of an idea of how it will look at the end. So that's all very exciting. A lot of that too is in the lead up to APEC.
And with all these developments taking place, the Nature Park is also using this opportunity to embark on its membership drive, which comes with added benefits.
Members will also get to see the Bird of Paradise precinct before we open it to the public, and they'll also have an opportunity to see our up-and-coming reptile house before we also open that to the public. So they get a few little extra sneak peeks and behind-the-scenes tours. So it's definitely a worthwhile thing to be a member, and yeah, we've got quite a few at the moment, so we're very excited about that and all the support we get.
Western Highlands Province has submitted its 2017 acquittals to the Department of Implementation and Rural Development this morning. Presenting the documents in person for the first time was Western Highlands Governor Pius Wingti and the Western Highlands Provincial Administration staff. Although it takes time for many provinces to give in their yearly reports to DIRD, Western Highlands is one of a few provinces which has in the last 5 years handed all their acquittals on time.
Like many provinces, Western Highlands has not completely received its PSIP for 2017. Last year, they only received 2 million kina of the 10 million kina pledged to them.
These acquittals we have just presented is in two components, one the PSG and the PSIP. Both put together is about 10.5 million. But we only received 2.8 million, of which we were able to put that into good use for especially impact projects in our province.
Nevertheless, Western Highlands Provincial Governor Pius Wingti says financial constraints have not stopped them from carrying on their development plans. According to the Department of Implementation and Rural Development, the province is up to date on its acquittals reports, being one of the few provinces in the country to do so. Despite the balance still owing, the province will continue to focus on delivering quality education and rebuild its infrastructure for adequate service delivery.
We are trying to promote quality education by way of promoting 35 per teacher in a class. And we started off when the Right Honorable Pius Wingti came in 2012 with only 12 high secondary schools. But as I'm speaking, we already have 32 high secondary schools in the province. And that has already created space in our high secondary schools with the number that is required per teacher student ratio, that's 35 to 1 teacher. And we have achieved that. And now we are looking at tertiary colleges. We are just negotiating with the Department of Education for tertiary colleges to also be set up in our provinces. So
Stacey Yallo, National, EMTV News.
Having a sound environment that will stimulate economic growth is vital for Papua New Guinea. With the tough economic situation the country is facing, a shift into focusing on agriculture is key for PNG to revive its economy. In an interview with EMTV News recently, Trade, Commerce and Industry Minister Wera Mori says PNG has looked to India to create SME programs within agriculture.
One of the pillars of the Alotau Accord was to grow the economy. Recently, PNG has looked to India to assist in small to medium enterprise programs.
There is new opening for us, and that India is is one possibility where we can be able to gain assistance to grow our SME. There are activities that that where our people who don't have to be that literate to participate in. People know how to make money from small activities.
However, Trade, Commerce and Industry Minister Wera Mori says in order for the PNG economy to prosper, PNG must have a conducive economic environment to stimulate economic growth.
We must also be able to make sure that our produce from the rural sectors must be brought to the markets.
Mori says a heavy reliance on the extractive industries in the recent past has caused PNG setbacks, and it is timely that it reinvests in activities that can generate income, such as agriculture, and not focus so much on investing in areas where there is no financial return.
We must enlarge our manufacturing base, and I don't mean so much of the big companies, but I'm talking about small to medium enterprises. Things like the garment industries, manufacturing of clothes, or simple things that we can be able to do, which we do not need to import from overseas. We must incubate them, and we have got to need to grow them and build those industries.
Maurice said the idea behind borrowing from India to assist in SME programs for PNG is to provide unemployment youths in the country with seed capital to assist them to generate income. Similarly, small-scale farmers will also be engaged in this program to carry their produce to the markets as well.
A lot of the times, we borrow money to spend on infrastructure which are sunk costs. But when you borrow money to basically go and pour in to make money, and especially invest in agriculture, then you know that it's not money wasted, but there is return on those investments. So we would want to do that so that we can be able to help our people to go into business.
Stacey Yalo, National, MTV News.
You're watching Thursday's news. Among stories after the break, Eastern End Commander Benturi moves to set up police mediators and a call for stronger protection of fisheries observers. Stay tuned for the details. Welcome back to National MTV News. More than 200 families are displaced after Surumarang village in Madang came under attack by people from the neighboring villages on Sunday. Acting Provincial Police Commander, Senior Inspector Jacob Bando, says people from the neighboring North Coast villages of Kusin, Sungar, Matugar and Sarang mobilized and attacked Surumarang villages. Police in Madang have identified more than 200 people involved in the attack and arrests will be made soon. According to police reports, the attack was also alcohol-related. Last Saturday, a PMV driver from Kusin village refused to allow 3 drunkards on a packed bus. The 3 men then followed the PMV to Surumarang village and attacked the driver and crew. The fighting escalated when bystanders and commuters, also fed up with the ongoing harassment along that section of the road, joined in the fight. The driver and the crew took the bus and escaped into Surumarang village, where they took refuge. Eastern End Command Deputy Commander Benturi will reintroduce a police mediation service to address sorcery. Most of sorcery issues in the highlands are not being reported because many times families of the victims take the law into their own hands. Commander Turi says sorcery will be handled properly if law enforcers are skilled properly.
Commander Turi says police in the Eastern End Command, which includes the 3 provinces of Western Highlands, Chiwaka and Chimbu, will take up mediation courses to be able to address sorcery-related issues. This is part of his proactive policing service after taking up his new post as the Deputy Commander of the Eastern End Command. Turi said sorcery-related issues are things to do with mind and spirit, and only a skilled police mediator needs to sit together with the disputed parties to solve it.
This activity and go straight, pick on the target, why this thing is happening, and maybe counsel people So Mr. Wingti has also been called me to brief him on such issues.
Commander Turi has outlined several plans he will undertake. Among them was the reviving of the highway patrol service. However, his main focus is to work with the churches and the legal fraternity to address sorcery-related issues in the Highlands. The head bishop of the Enga Good News Lutheran Church, Reverend David Piso, has also urged the national and provincial governments to support police and churches to address sorcery in communities.
We have to, the government was asked to fund the churches because churches have got the people with them. Through like this worship here, like other lotus, we can change the mindset of the people.
The same sentiment was also shared by Mount Hagen resident judge Justice Kenneth Frank for lawyers, law enforcers and magistrate and judges to undertake mediation courses to be able to resolve disputes. Commander Turi confirmed police officers will be sent to attend the mediation courses soon. Vasinata Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
More than 50 people were involved in a road accident yesterday along the Wau-Bulolo highway when two PMVs collided 10 minutes out of Bulolo town. Bulolo Police Station Commander Leo Kaikas confirmed that the driver of the PMV travelling up from Lae was intoxicated. He drove onto the other lane and collided head-on with the other PMV. Mr. Kaikas said the driver was also an inexperienced PMV driver. Officer in charge for Bulolo Hospital, David Manasseh, said there were luckily no deaths. 9 passengers, including both drivers, are being treated for major injuries, while most of the passengers were treated for minor injuries. There is a renewed call for better protection for fishing observers from the National Fisheries Authority after APEC Governor Alan Bird raised the question in Parliament about what the PNG government is doing to protect its fishing observers.
The observers on fishing vessels, their role is to document illegal fishing practices on the high seas. It is my understanding that up until July last year, 4 Papua New Guineans were lost at sea without a trace and usually around 2 a.m. in the morning. What is the PNG government doing to protect our young men on the front lines doing this job?
According to Mr. Bird, last year 4 observers from his district lost their lives while at sea. None of their bodies were ever found. He further added that 18 observers have been lost at sea for reasons unknown. His questions were directed at Deputy Prime Minister Charles Abel, requesting his office to take charge of the serious matter and bring justice to the families of the victims.
Delegations at this stage, we are yet to ascertain those facts, and there are news. It is news to me certainly, but if it is true, it is very concerning. If necessary, it will then lead to the appropriate steps to conduct a full investigation. And then naturally that should lead to the consequences which will involve a potential whole range of measures, including maybe suspension of license.
Himmat Shaligram, National EMTV News.
3 non-refugees in Manus have been listed as suspects involved in the break and entering of the storage room of their catering company to steal items which included mattresses and pillows. Police reports state that the 3 men broke into the storage room last Wednesday and stole these items. The incident occurred at the West Lorengau house at Ward 1. A cocoa cooperative in the Sinavit local level government of Eastern Britain province is calling for government support to establish a cocoa processing centre in the area. The Ilugi Cocoa Cooperative has over 500 registered members, but say they are getting less than the actual worth of their cocoa beans. Setting up a processing facility would mean avoiding the middleman who, for the most part, buys their cocoa at a much lower price.
The price of cocoa has been unsteady in the last 10 years in cocoa-producing regions of the country, spurred by the recent cocoa pod borer pest. The once easy-to-farm crop has now become laborious and expensive. Farming cocoa would mean paying for labor costs, as well as paying for insecticides to keep the cocoa trees in good health. The Ilugi Cocoa Cooperative is one group in the Sinavit LLG of East New Britain province that has spoken out, calling for support from cocoa-based organizations to assist them by establishing a cocoa processing facility so that they can produce, process and sell directly to the buyers. Amos Kalam owns about 2 hectares of cocoa trees, but he says he's been having difficulty to sell all his quality beans at a much higher price.
Kaka Mr. Pinis. Kaka this like Kaka Kumena Salim. You talk about quality. Quality me can produce. Kaka me can produce that's all. Suppose me like kisim this quality. Namda Salim no. Sample better go and that's more. So we need one center of processing center so that all the Kaka Blumla become. Nansula cacao. It must come up with some kind 24 bags or 30 bags or 1 black per man. And we can all get farmers, we can cooking Loyana, you make a salim, quality, you can storing Loyana, make a salim. That's how many.
The Ilugi Cocoa Cooperative comprises about 500 members. What stood out from the group is that they were recently awarded as one of the top 50 cocoa producers in the world in October last year in Paris during the Cocoa of Excellence Award. But the award-winning group is one amongst many others in the country that are feeling the pinch of not getting much as they expected.
Finance, Loronim, Gamane Maripines, Sambi Mestibis Lombla time Pinis, Namibla Sabia, Mibla field woman and actually Ibla room live Bibla Pinis, all the Sunday mean place Pinis, Kaka Mr. Pinis, Nansula Kaka Mita cooking and Mita Salino, or middleman blowing Miloya.
They are also faced with other challenges in transporting cocoa from their farms to their cocoa buying points, and there's a shortage in road transport facilities and vehicles often break down. But most importantly, they say they want to avoid the middleman, whom the farmers consider as someone that is not paying them well. If these issues can be fixed, the farmers say they can earn more than what they are earning now. Edwin Fidelis, National EMTV News, Kokopo.
Lae-based company Panamex Pacific visited an elementary school yesterday to educate children on the importance of drinking milk. The company will be visiting 18,000 children from schools in the districts of Lae, Huon Gulf and Nawai. The schools will be visiting in this new taste sampling truck. The truck comes with a TV screen installed for the children to view the product on offer. Buima Road Elementary School in Lae was the first school visited. Panamex Pacific Marketing Manager Simon Tahani said it is important to educate children at the early age in order for them to grow up strong and healthy. The AOG Christian Academy School in Lae will be the next stop for this anchor brand truck. You're watching National EMTV News. Telecom PNG gets naming rights for Penance Golf. That story in Trukai Sports when we come back.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. Telecom PNG are the naming rights sponsor for the Port Moresby Pennant Corporate Golf Challenge. The sponsorship covers 3 years with 70,000 kina per year from 2018 to 2020.
PNG Golf President Peter Del Monte, after thanking Telecom PNG for their funding of 210,000 kina, said some of the funds will go towards supporting PNG's up-and-coming golfers.
The Pennants competition is not only just a monthly competition, it's an opportunity for the club to allow a number of corporate sponsors the opportunity to come together and compete for the bragging rights of being the champion pennant team. And I can assure you there's a lot of bragging. The competition also brings together a number of other factors, such as allowing our junior members to compete in match play type events, and that's against our top senior members.
General Manager Royal Port Moresby Golf Club Scott Morrissey says since the inception of the competition and starting with 8 teams, the number this year stands at 12 teams.
It's a very hectic time for the club itself, but we're looking forward to. So the course is in great shape, and we look forward to not only hosting the best amateurs but also the best pros at the SP PNG Open.
National Retail Manager of Telecom PNG, Amos Steppi, says this is not the first time Telecom has supported golf tournaments. It has supported many other national and international events in the country.
Sponsorship towards the Royal Port Moresby Golf Club for the naming right of the annual Pennants competition. This is the 8th year of sponsorship for Telecom PNG towards the Royal Port Moresby Club, and partnership with the Pom Golf Club has been a pleasant mutual standing over these past years. The sponsorship will be for the period of 3 years with a total value of 210,000 over in both cash and in-kind sponsorship of Telecom products and services.
Telecom team captain John Choloi says he is confident Telecom will win this year's title.
We have actually been in the competition for the last few years, but we've come back
And so you're looking at the most dangerous golfer at the moment with his team. And we do have also support of a lot of the telecom executives, and we hope to see them also on the course, not only to enjoy the game and interact and network with the other organizations, but
to assist in, to get a return on the investment. It's about being out there where you're recognised, and I think it's extremely important for companies like Telecom to be part of it and to be recognised that they're a leading communication supplier here, and corporate should get on board.
PNG Gulf President Peter Del Monte says the event is also a way of bringing together corporate businesses in the country to network and socialise. Godwin Eki, National, EMTV Sports.
To football now, Gulf Province Sports Trust has supplied brand new football equipment and uniforms to PRK Gulf Erama FC. This is to help prepare the team for the Football Federation PNG Champions League tournament. The FF PNG Champions League will kick off on the 23rd of this month, with the finals to be held on the 25th. Here with Trukai Sports, we'll have more after these messages. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. Coinciding with the launch of the 2018 BSP School Cricket Program this week was Cricket PNG Development Regional Managers Conference here in Port Moresby, where cricket development facilitators from outside centres attended. And with 10 provinces across the country on board, the program has successfully produced national representatives in the last few years. Cricket PNG's Vayana Gaba, in an interview on MTV's Sports Scene show, spoke of the progress so far and where the program is heading.
We produced 100% of the boys who made the Under-19 World Cup qualifier in Samoa last year, and they all came from the BSP School Cricket Program, so that was a bonus for us. So those are the things that we're looking at, and those are the things we discussed in our regional conference, and providing or producing young talents, teaching them the fundamentals of cricket at a very young age, as early as 3 or 4, and bringing them up to be to represent the country at junior level or the national level.
And you can catch the rest of that exclusive on MTV Sports Scene show next Monday, where Highlands Regional Cricket Development Managers will also talk about the growing interest of cricket up in the Highlands. But that wraps up Trukai Sports for this evening. Stay tuned for the weather in a while. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
A quick look at the weather for the next 24 hours. In the southern region, Port Moresby, Daru, Kerma, Alotau and Popondetta, you can expect fine weather with a top temperature of 31 degrees. And that's the news, sport and weather for today, Thursday, the 15th of February 2018. On behalf of the MTV News team, pleasant viewing. Good night.